this really? Okay. Good evening, y'all. The control panel is acting a damn fool. Oh no, my co-host is gone. Okay, the struggle is real. How y'all doing? Happy Friday evening. This is Uncle Pouquie, and I am here for the moment for the new episode of Drunk Uncles Talking Shit. On this show, we get into the irreverent, the funny, the sexy, the sexual, and the absurd on occasion. Currently, our producer who wants to be off screen is on screen right now. Vic said he'll be back, so
Yeah,
um,
I'm the pitch hitter. So like, if you have to assemble anything, you just say, "Hey, jump
okay.
in."
Yeah, I've assembled the first half of the show. I'll be able to live assemble the rest of it.
Okay,
All right. So, what are you? Do you have a cocktail this evening? How was your week? Oh,
I do. I have
what's
a
that?
screwdriver.
Ooh, okay.
One of my oldies.
I have a Squirt
And a
Zero
Skyback.
with some vodka.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
I
we're on
got,
vodka.
yeah, I got a little grapefruit cocktail, so to speak. It's light. I will warn you that I am a little unsettled this evening. I'm not quite sure what the deal is, but
Hmm.
physically, but I'll
Yeah.
push on through it. For those of you that may have seen me on Wednesday, I did wash this shirt since you've seen me. Uh,
Or I just say you have two. Because I actually do that. When I have a shirt I like, I buy extras.
well, yeah, they only had it in black, so
Okay.
I'll wear the same shirt like 3, 4 days in a row, and if I have three or four
Okay.
of them, so that's the problem.
Yeah. To
And
me, it's like a way of de-stressing. The fewer
Mhm.
choices I have to make during a day,
Oh
the
yeah,
more energy I have. So, like, I try to make my clothes a grab and go. You know.
yeah, a good friend of mine, he actually embraced that idea. He only has beige, white, and black in his closet. So it's kind of like he can mix and match, but those are the colors. He can go monochrome, he can go neutral and light, neutral and dark, or black and white. And I marvel at his closet. I couldn't do it,
I
but
know, fancy.
it's like I need some color. But his closet is quite impressive, I have to say, and
Yeah,
very neat. It's the kind
yeah,
of
it
thing you
sounds
don't
like
need a closet door for.
it. Right.
Um, but okay, so we got you with a beer. I'm with my grapefruit soda, zero sugar, and some vodka. And how was the week?
It was okay. I mean, like, considering this whole month just went by like zip zip. I am surprised that it's already supposedly summer
Hmm.
and I haven't done anything. I was supposed to have done something by now, but no, I got off my reading habit.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So I've been reading like 3 hours a day for the whole year of 2025. I read about 140 books.
I was about to say that's finished so many damn books. Okay.
Yeah,
It's like you
well, I
got me
read three books.
back.
I literally got addicted to it, and I realized like I stopped reading because of like technical issues and just life be life, and then I tried to start it up again. I was like, yeah, that's a lot of reading. It's hard to get up there, but once
Yeah.
you're there, it becomes like a missing something in my life when it's not. And
Mhm.
so anyway, I'm reading the Stand, which I've never read.
Oh wow, Stephen King.
Stephen
Okay.
King. He is a master at storytelling. Yet, there are still like very, I wouldn't say racist, but like racial tropes that are kind of outdated. I mean, the book was written in 1990 by a white guy, even if he is pretty
Yeah.
awesome. But I still think it was a heartfelt. I'm only halfway through, but it's clearly a heartfelt. Um, and I guess attempt at doing like a good versus evil. And really, I really enjoy it so far. It's like a pandemic happens, almost everyone's dead, and like you follow individual people as they find each other because
Mhm.
basically everyone around them died.
Yeah.
There's something about that, and as people are reaching out for each other, you realize like humanity needs each other. Like you can't live in this world alone.
Mhm.
And then the other thing is that not everyone is like you. You know, some people will run into each other and they think they're cool, but then they're kind of like, you know, cruel or like psycho or whatever. It's like you
Just look
can't.
crazy.
Everyone can be a part of your group, and that's
Yeah.
kind of where they're at in the story. It's like not everyone
Okay.
come to the
Yeah.
cookout.
Yeah. Not everybody should get a plate.
No,
Not everybody should be staring at the peach cobbler.
right.
So for those of you that have not read The Stand, I've got to keep an eye on the comments. I'm so terrible with that. I see we have the infamous Mr. McClinton on the scene. Welcome, Sammy. Oh yeah. I might roll something later. Well, I'll pull the
Oh
vape
yeah.
out of its special place.
No, I said I finally broke the seal on smoking again. I took a
Yeah.
break about 2 years ago,
Well,
and
I got like I went to a sesh one night and they just had
hmm,
cartridges galore at like a price that I had never seen. So I was able to
right.
get some high quality shit at a very reasonable price.
That is
As well as some flour. So it's like
that is
I
good.
love how they like, you want flour? I'm like, am I baking something? And they looked at me like, really, sir? I was like, I don't do
Yeah,
this. I don't
this
know.
is a flower.
Yeah, I
This
was
is a
like,
flower.
it's
Yeah,
not my domain. This is my
yeah.
first time in a dispensary. Leave me alone.
Flowers
It's
come in a
legal.
lot of forms. I was surprised to learn that strawberries are a flower too. Like they're technically a flower, fruiting
Oh
flower.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
okay. Now, for those of you that are new, Brother Malcolm does bring the knowledge. So it's inescapable. Um, I know, Sammy. I feel you. I just don't want to be on air doing it. You know. Oh, you talk about the shirt? Well, yeah. You know.
Yeah, I was
Mhm.
thinking about that too. I don't. It's really getting more permissive. It's not technically legal in Georgia, but it's not illegal for them to ship now.
Mhm.
But it's still not legal where I live. So
Okay. Oh yeah, you're off. You're not in
they're-
Atlanta proper, so
they
yeah.
can't sell it here, but I don't think like they decriminalize it pretty much. Like they don't.
Okay. Yeah, I remember watching some show where they actually went to a lounge and it wasn't hookah. It was actually just straight up cannabis. And I was like,
Yeah,
this wasn't
people
legal
talk
there.
about that in people talk about that in Atlanta all the time. Like you will run into cannabis in public. Like that's just what it is. But
Mm. Oh yeah.
yeah,
Okay, we got Sammy with a little something something about being the resident weed head. I respect that. I respect it.
yeah.
Okay. So Thick will be rejoining us soon, but in the interim, we'll move forward with the show. We have a couple of silly videos to get into. Oh, I
Hmm.
forgot. What is our drink word of the day?
Ooh, I'm almost done. Right?
That
I'm about to have to pour another one.
tells us
Um, how about? Oh, I'm trying to think.
we could. Oh my.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh, well,
You
I
have
got two of them that are just sitting here.
okay. Let's grab one.
Okay, we'll go with that one.
Hmm. What's up?
Oh, let me uncover it.
Oh no, I can't see. So I can't see it anyway.
The drinking word of the day is dick.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. It could be dick or coochie.
Yes,
We had
dick
to
is
recycle. It's like
dick is a wonderful word.
it is
I,
a wonderful thing.
you know what? It's so funny. I have a video. I might play it for Wednesday. It was a burger shop. I want to say it was in New York. Could have been Philly, somewhere. And it was Dick's Burgers, and
Okay.
every burger had the name Dick in it. And the one that's famous is the Big Dick Double
Damn.
Burger. Yeah, the Big Dick Double.
Okay.
And so this straight guy said, "I'm going to try my best to order it with a straight face." He's
Yeah,
like-
you gotta
I
keep it
said,
real.
"He's like, I want a Big Dick Double." Hold the dick sauce.
Damn, not the dick sauce.
Yeah, there's dick sauce too. But I always wondered, like, oh god, I just drank. Oh god, I said dick like 30 times. Hold up.
You did. And I had to step away. It was getting a little stuffy and had to open my door. Uh,
Okay, so
yeah.
I shouldn't tell a restaurant joke, but anyway, because
Okay.
I'm not.
Well, we'll go on and move forward. Um, so so we
Ooh,
had some light silliness to start the day. Let's see here. Unfortunately, these things are a little weird, so I'm not sure I'm picking the right one, but
mm,
okay. For those of you that missed it, a wig, okay? Yeah, sister, why you on a coaster and you not handling your business?
Right, that part.
Okay. Yeah, I feel
Mhm.
like it was probably staged.
Somebody didn't
I
like
ain't
her,
heard from
and
white
they
people all
and
damn day.
they did
I wonder what
that.
they
They
up
did
to.
that.
Uh-oh. Okay. So, let's put you back in there, thick. Give us a second, folks. Okay, there we go. All right.
Uh-huh.
So when we do the segments, Malcolm, you'll be off screen. I guess for now you're on screen.
yes,
Okay.
yes. It's here
Um,
to pitch. I can go back. I get drunk.
bye bye. What you drinking tonight, thick?
Oh, just this little beer in the box.
Beer in a box.
Yeah, it's called Beatbox. It's just a beer in a box.
Oh, that's new to me. I've not seen that. Okay. All right. And the drink word of the day is dick.
Oh,
We had to recycle.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Had to go on and recycle. I was like, well, this is what we're working with. So, okay. All righty. So we did the first video and the second actually. We have two more just to get the palette going before we get into our first topic of the evening. For those of you that are new with us, we start out a little on the silly side with the video, then we get serious, and then the show gets more reverent as we go because the liquor is flowing much more heavily as we go. And plus, the subject matter lends itself to foolishness as well. So that is the flow. But let's see here. We got another one here. Craziness. I'll just admit that up front. Oh, beer in the box. Beatbox. I've never seen that. I've seen water in a box.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's Jaden Smith's brand, but I digress. All right, let's take a look at our next one. Girl, you supposed to let go. See? Man, sister, why you supposed to let go? Now, can you
Mm-hmm.
imagine if that was her man's dick she's swinging on like that? That's,
I would feel for.
you
I fear for the
know,
man.
yeah, but you know, that's a lot of ass to tackle and conquer. You know, a
Yeah.
connoisseur would just be like in seventh heaven dealing with all that ass.
Okay.
And there are definitely folk out there that will be more than happy to wear it out and break
Mm-hmm.
it down. All right.
Yes. There's
Yeah.
quite
So for
a
those,
quite a number of people that claim they can.
uh oh, uh oh.
They claim that they can handle somebody, a
Mm.
lot, and somebody of size, and I just be like, okay.
Uh, did, did you need to vent or you all right?
No, no. I'm all right.
I'm just checking because you know it could be a little, I
No,
understand.
no. I am fine. I am fine. No.
Okay. Yeah, we don't.
I'm just saying that
It has happened.
yeah, yes, it has happened.
Okay. Well, yeah, at some point we'll get into that because I've had those
Hmm.
encounters as well. As I could have stayed my black ass at home.
That
Uh,
part.
but why not open my door for you? Take your pick. Any of those would fit.
Hmm.
But okay. And we're going to get into our last one before we get into sexually speaking for the evening. Here we go.
Hmm.
Uh oh. We going to go again.
the hell is wrong with you? How did you get up there?
Thank you.
You was trying to redo Humpty
Mm,
Dumpty, and if you were, job well done, because that was
mm-hmm.
a great fall. You succeeded.
Okay.
Now it's too much going on. Now is that a refrigerator down or is that a cupboard? Huh? Whatever it is, it's done.
It's still
Y'all
up.
ready to take that on out. Looking like a double peanut M&M. You know what? I need to get off him. He gonna ask you, "Are you alive?"
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you need to come see about her, and you just lying. Okay, just a little sore.
Uh-oh.
I had my questions about even doing that one, but
Mm-hmm.
every time I was putting together a show, it just kept coming up. I was like, go on, put the video in there so you can let it go. But what the hell? Like, she told a dough off the damn freezer and
Right.
got the dough hanging off the fridge.
Like,
And
what was you doing?
I don't know. And her man, clearly he is a connoisseur because that was a lot of ass too.
Oh, well, yeah.
And we gonna talk about a little bit this evening on how to break down an ass.
I was watching Dominus's video earlier on Instagram
Hmm.
and on about he had a rim seat and he was telling people how to properly rim and eat
Yeah,
booty.
yeah,
Well,
that's what I'm talking
his
about.
interpretation of it. Mm-hmm.
I actually, yeah, I enjoyed his video. I said, okay, go on for that.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
gave some good tips, so I said, okay. Now, of course, I know some folks that would be mortified by the idea of actually eating some booty.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I'm like
that is,
shit.
yeah,
I happen to have a fixation of
okay.
several occasions of several things.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
I am.
there, there's this guy on Twitter that I really would love to have a conversation with him
Mm-hmm.
because he has his little men spread across the country, and he comes into town to pillage and plunder
Mm.
case. Yes. And one of them he calls Pussy Boy.
Oh.
And I'm like, Lord, and that po child, I was just like, okay, Pussy Boy it is. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, but I was like, I admire, your collection.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I was like, oh yeah.
yeah.
I think I've come across a video or two of his.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I think I have. I don't remember his handle, but I think I've come across a video or two.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I said, okay, I was like, I might have to get the Just for Fans for that, just so I can check it out in more detail. But, for research purposes. For research purposes. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So, let's see here. Everything is jumbled out of order, but let's get into sexually speaking. I say it. There we go. Tonight's book is by Ms. Bell Hooks, and it's titled All About Love. And New Visions is the subheading. Now, in this book, influential writer, cultural critic, and feminist. Actually, I think she was the mother of the womanist movement, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I have some friends that probably be like, "How dare you not know that for sure?" Because they've all read all the Bell. But she
Mm-hmm.
actually explores love as an ethical practice rather than merely as a feeling. Now, she basically looks at how patriarchy, domination, childhood wounds, and capitalism distort our capacity to love honestly and sustainably. And so I think she definitely offers some ideas and thoughts about this whole idea of men, you know, yeah, the topic keeps coming with men like not liking the women in their lives. It's like they crave them obviously for sex, and then for some cases, caretaking, so to speak. But they really would rather not have to deal with them, ideally. Which is kind of that caveman thing. But one of the things that she kind of puts out there, one of the first ideas or top ideas, that love is an action that's rooted in care, honesty, responsibility, and growth.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think she's trying to counter this idea of possession and domination within relationships, or just this idea that you took a vow, and what that means is you have to honor your vow, but if I somehow fall short myself as your husband, it's not that big a deal.
Mm.
Um,
It's always the ones that want to say it's not that big of a deal. Um, it. I don't know. It's giving. I'm gonna make an excuse.
yeah, I mean, and my whole thing is, if you're not willing to accept, this traditional, actually, I would say that part is probably archaic because marriage has evolved so much over human history. You need to actually declare what your relationship is going to be. Like, you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to follow these outdated rules about, who gets to do and say what.
Right.
Um, but I don't know, folks. I mean, and we talked about a little bit of polyamory in recent episodes where, communication was just a huge part of that. Do you wonder if it's is there fear that, like, if a guy wants an open relationship, does he kind of stay quiet about that because he's afraid that his partner is going to reject that and him?
Yes, but when it's women who want a relationship or want to be poly, it's more accepted.
Well, and
It.
also, but it's also an assault on his manhood, particularly if it is another man, unless he is into
Mm-hmm.
the cup thing, you know, which, that's typically sitting there, or at least knowing that it's going on. Um,
Yeah, I mean it can be. It can be that, but that's if the guy can't handle that. Because I have seen there's this woman who was famous on social media and everything. Well, she's made her posts get moved around quite a bit. Well,
mm,
she has her husband and she has a boyfriend,
yep.
and they're both okay with this.
Mhm.
They're not they're going into this like, hey, we both get her, we both have this relationship with her.
Mhm.
And of course people have their comments like, oh, they doing each other too, and I'm like, that's not
No,
necessarily true. That's not necessarily
no.
true, but that's what y'all assume. And but they both know their roles in this situation. You
And
know.
there was another woman that was on reality TV, I believe. I can't remember which show. It was a
Mm.
sister though, but she had two men, and it may have been. I don't think it was like a Love and Hip Hop. I think it may have been that show about not Sister Wives, but like the people of color version of it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and and she was, her husband or her boyfriend were actually real cool with one another. They understood what it was, and they were content. And I, it's I would imagine from the outside looking in, you do have this idea that as a man, you can kind of do what you want. Wow. But your woman has to be your woman and only your woman.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting to see that these two black men were actually cool with this sister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I remember when I was at work one time, and I don't know what made this guy blur.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what made him blurt this out to a bunch of other dudes, but hey, it is what it is. So he goes, because he's talking about, at first he's talking about, he got a girl, or I think either it was his girl or his fiance, one of the two.
Hmm.
And then he talk about, so you know what? I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go to Walmart with my sweatpants on, with my dick pants on. I'm like, did we need to know this? Why are you telling us you're
Yeah.
going to Walmart to walk around Walmart or go walk around do whatever with gray sweatpants on, aka your dick pants? Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
why was this information that we needed to hear?
In case he felt like somebody had wanted to see him. on the team at work that had wanted to see him in the dick pants. Now, I personally be like, no, where he live again? Okay, he probably wants to see his dick pants. You know,
but
if you gonna give me a show, I'll watch it.
but then I said, well, what if your girl goes to Walmart, in something revealing, like some Daisy Dukes and a halter top with a cleavage store. It's like, oh no, that ain't gonna happen. Ain't no man gonna let his woman walk. Oh, whoa. But you about to go put
Mhm.
yourself on display for people at Walmart.
Yep, and act a damn fool. Well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I mean, I guess again, it's you know, we all want to feel like we still got it
Yeah.
after X amount of time, perhaps being monogamously paired, or even in a throuple, or in a multi-pronged, hexagonal relationship, whatever it may be. We all want to feel like we still got it, like that the person or persons that are desiring us aren't doing it out of obligation or because they have nothing else to do,
Mm.
but just this idea that, oh no, yeah, you can still go pull, you can still
Oh
bring
yeah.
you something home. So
Uh-huh.
I get it, but mm, I feel like you should probably be communicating that you out in your dick pants, because I would imagine if this is not okay up front. Oh,
Mm.
dick pants. If this was not negotiated early up front, say she's sitting on the couch and he come in the front door with the dick pants on. She gonna be like, "Where the fuck you been? Because you wasn't
Mm-hmm.
on the line,
Mm-mm.
and why you ain't got no drawers on?
That part.
Like where you been? Especially if you walk in there with a Walmart bag, she be like, really? So you just slinging dick all over Walmart? Is that what you're doing today? You know,
Right. Just
yeah. I could see that going. Yeah, and mm,
yeah, I can see that conversation going left, right, south, up,
center.
all over the place. Like, oh, so you just out here slinging dick at Walmart? Okay, but and then when she go put on her I am gonna quote Beyonce on this one. But she go
Okay.
put on her freakum dress
Okay.
or her
Yeah.
Daisy Dukes or
Hmm.
whatever, and then go out to the club with the girls, and he could be like, "Well, where you going? You can't go out." Like, no. She could be like, "No. You had your turn.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go have
Well,
mine."
and she could be wearing some daisies or some boss hogs. Either way.
Right.
She letting them
Mm-hmm.
know, if you want to see
Mm-hmm.
it, here it is. If you might want to taste it, we can talk. You know, I,
Right.
I would imagine he gonna be a little salty about that,
Of
but
course. Of course.
but I don't know. I don't get it. Because obviously my whole thing is it can be a difficult conversation. To start a relationship with someone that defies this whole idea of monogamy.
Yeah.
But I feel like you need to say something like it's like the last couple of guys that I've talked to, they've actually been like, well, I really want an open relationship. And I was like, well, damn, we starting open? Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you can you get a chance to get tired of me? It's but
Or so backing up to my so-called experience with a polyamorous relationship, and it's and I use the word experience very loosely, okay, or
okay,
so-called.
okay,
So what it was okay. So me and my ex, I knew what I was walking into beforehand. Okay,
okay,
you said you want to be poly. Okay, I sat with it. I went through it. I digested it. Went through the whole process. Am I going to be comfortable with this?
hmm,
Yeah, I can be comfortable with this, but you got to give me time to also be comfortable. A little bit more, and to also build up our foundation. This is what I thought was going to happen. Our foundation
yeah,
before you try to bring someone else in. Oh no, that did not happen. Cause not too long after he said, "Well, I met somebody and I want to bring them in." I'm like, "Wait,
be like, I just got here.
right? Like, okay." And then that one didn't work out. So then maybe a week or two later, I met somebody else, and I'm like, "Wait, bruh, wait a minute." This is my first time doing this. You were throwing
You're
and I
throwing
should
a
have
lot
communicated.
at
And my flaw was I didn't communicate That to me, that was my flaw. Like, wait, you throwing too much at me at one time, bro. Can you calm down? Can we take a breather? Can we take a moment?
Mhm.
And really, because the thing is too that what you're not doing, you're communicating with me and you're telling me who's coming, that you'll get somebody in. But the agreement between us was that we both have to agree on this person.
Yeah.
That's what our
Ah,
initial agreement was. Like, we both have to be comfortable with this person, and it just seemed like only you are comfortable, and you want what you want, and it got to a point where I feel like I was just a safety net for him not to be alone while he goes out here and recruits other people.
yeah.
If that makes sense, like, and it got to a point where I felt like that, and I would start, and in turn, I became distant because I'm like, what's the point of me being here? Because all you do is it's like you're going around collecting the Infinity Stones, and I'm just here like, what the fuck am I here for?
They are not infinity stones. They'd be like infinity bones,
Right? That, yeah,
something.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's and there, and I would have to wonder if he was really legitimately poly or was just a straight up hoe, that just didn't respect any, just was
Mm-hmm.
not, could not handle commitment on any level. Because that's like, for you to say this is new to me, and for him to give you, the high speed poly, like every week is somebody new,
Mm.
that he wants you to meet, and possibly was this to be in a throuple or was this to play?
Well, it was a throuple, and then
Okay.
it was supposed to be a throuple. Um, and then there was one guy uh that he knew of or met. I don't know if he I can't remember if he knew him beforehand or just somebody that he met. But there was this one guy who
Mhm.
me and this person had our birthdays were close enough to each other, and we were all supposed to be celebrating my birthday and his.
Okay.
But the person would not show up
Oh,
for the celebration, and he kept going, "Well, why isn't he here? Why he not? Why I did this? I mean, because I'm thinking you did this for me. You got the hotel
mhm.
and everything for me, and he
Yeah.
was just an added bonus. But no, you made it seem like
Ooh.
you more worried about him than me. But I was there first, and or I thought it was all about it wasn't all about me, but I thought majority this was me.
That you at least mattered.
Right, right, and I was just like, oh, see, and I can't admit that in my naiveness and my me being new to this and that and pulling this out that there was more on my end I should have communicated and done and said, but also he should have been more patient and slow with things as well. It's like I'm new to this, I don't know how this all navigates. I can tell you how I feel.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I did tell him how I felt about something, and he shut down and got all in his feelings. And I'm like, why are you getting in your feelings for me telling you to just ease off or back off of something?
Wow.
Just like slow down. Or I mean, I get that you're venting, but I don't want to hear about this person. It's like every time I turn around, you got a problem with this person.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, how many times? And then I got to a point where I'm like, look, either you're going to solve the problem,
Hmm.
or the other person don't know.
Yeah, it seems like, I mean, there seems to be a real just abdication of the actual reality and responsibilities of being polyamorous. Like you can't, it's not to say that you're on your own with everything that
Mm-hmm.
comes up, but I can't, you can't ask me to share you with someone else and then also become the confessor and the therapist for you with this other person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
and I would, yeah, I probably would have to snatch it up on a wig as well.
Okay, because
Just,
yeah. And then there's one guy that we were both trying to talk to and feel out and meet and everything.
mhm.
Um, he got mad because the person was okay. So this is a person who was a widower. His husband died years ago.
Okay.
Um, and he got mad because how come every time I turn around, he talking about he always mention his dead husband? I'm being compared to a dead person. I'm like, sir,
That's the standard.
that was his husband. What do you? That was his husband. He didn't. They didn't
Yeah.
break up. He's not still alive. He died.
Hmm.
I mean, you're gonna get a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, and again, why are you asking me? All I can do is speculate. Like,
And all I can do is give you my best advice or response. I don't know because I have never been in a situation where I lost a partner. I don't know how that, like, I've lost, not they haven't died on me, so I
yeah,
don't know how that feels either. So and you don't know how that feels either. So
no,
you
yeah,
know,
like that's I mean, and the interesting thing is one of her other points in the book was that healing requires learning vulnerability, not just resilience.
yep.
And he's actually trying to heal with you. Like he is actually making a real commitment and investment in his relationship with you, and you're
Hmm.
just not freaking getting it. Yeah, this guy, he sounds like he was, he was in it for the sex.
Right, and he was using polyamory as a band aid. That's just what it was. Instead of
Yeah.
and he was just because I did learn later on that sometimes people do things or use people as band aids, and I'm like, some of y'all in some situations, okay, a band aid is all you need. Some of y'all need surgery.
Hmm.
If you get what I'm saying, like some of y'all need to. Yeah, y'all need surgery. Y'all need to do a transplant surgery, something, because a lot
Hmm.
of your trauma is requires more than a band-aid, and it requires more than me. You need to go sit
Yeah.
on someone's couch and talk about your issues because I can only do and say so much. I can only be there so much. Now, I'm not saying that I won't be there for you. Not saying that I won't listen to you. Because I mean, as your partner, I'm going to do all those things. I am required to do. And I put myself in that position. But there are just some things.
That I should not be called upon to handle.
Right.
But maybe that's me being selfish. That's it. I'm being
Yeah.
selfish.
But then, yeah, but you know what? And sometimes in relationship, people don't understand that sometimes you have to be selfish, but in a healthy way.
Yeah, I mean, at least to protect yourself, but also as a way of just being assertive. Because Bell also talks about the idea that domination and patriarchy can distort, authentic love, particularly for us between us as black men. Uh, and it sounds like again by him doing that, he's basically saying to you, "Yeah, I need you to take care of this or take care of me, as opposed to me being in partnership with you." And that's some raggedy shit. But I do see Sammy had a little recounting of something to share with us. Let's see what he said. He met an
Sammy.
he met an open straight married couple. The wife is bi, the husband is bi curious, into pegging. Go on, y'all. I thought the husband was hot. He wants to try with the guy, but his wife saw me and said, "Oh no." Okay.
Wow.
I I'm intrigued. Did she sense that you gonna turn her husband out? Is that
I think his next comment actually says
is that what it is?
that.
Oh, see, I knew
See,
it.
I did tell him I would turn him out. He went back and told
She's like, you ain't gonna take my man. It's hard to find
oh
one.
god.
And the wife got a girlfriend. Okay,
But so I have a question. Like, okay, let's go to the comments first, and then we'll come back to my question.
okay. So Sammy had something here about open heart surgery. I'm trying to remember what that was in reference to.
Oh, what I said. About some people need surgery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And then he said,
have
blood
a blood
transfusion.
transfusion too. Now, I have a question for the audience and for you, Dr. Pookie,
Okay.
because there was a mention of pegging.
Yeah.
Now, do you believe that when a straight man wants to get pegged or wants his I hate this. I hate to use this term, but I'm gonna use it tonight for comedic purposes.
Okay.
His boochie cat.
Oh, okay. The Bucci. All right. Okay.
Was it played in or played with,
Mhm.
by a female who's into pegging or
Mhm.
into anal stimulation? Do you believe that is a gateway to them wanting a man, or do people fear it because they're like, well, why are you going in the back? Why you want to go back there for? Why you want that played with? And if they're but here's my thought: if they're asking you as their wife, their
Mhm.
girlfriend, their fiance, if they're asking a woman,
Yeah.
then they're not gay. They just want to know
Yeah.
what it feels like. They're just curious about what anal stimulation is, and then some of them may have already had it done,
Mhm.
and they want to do it again.
I so I would say first, nerves don't know the difference. The reason he wants you back there is because that area is as sensitive as the tip of his dick.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time.
And
Um,
it's also the G spot, that you know.
exactly. It's like if you're not gonna give me a dick, I want a finger. You it's like just because his G spot is easier to reach than yours, should not be an issue. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I do feel like it's really not about the genitalia per se.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're seeing that with folks who are trans attracted, as folks like to call it. They're
Mm-hmm.
like this trans man is a man despite the vagina. This
Mm-hmm.
trans woman is a woman despite the penis.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really about the person holistically. Because if that were the case, then you could just traffic in prostitution and get your needs met. You can get you a sex doll. You can get one of them little things that you just hold and just, like I've seen some of those videos, a little bus, with like a hole in it. You can do
Mm-hmm.
that if it's just about that, but it's about the whole experience with the person. You I feel like if a man wants anal play, it's because he understands the joys that are back there, and he's asking you as his wife or his girlfriend or his woman,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the nomenclature is, to help him with that because that's what he needs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and again, this idea of authenticity, you're either going to be that woman that can do that for him and learn to like it, if not learn to love it, because I've seen some people like, I don't know, and then when they do it, they're like, oh. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of power in entering somebody. you
Mm-hmm.
know it's like it's kind of a drunk, it's really intoxicating and dizzying at times, in my experience, where it's just like, oh, this is different. It just because you're merging with someone else. It's obviously, if you're the one being merged inside of, it's again, it's different, but it's some deep shit. He's basically saying to you, I've chosen you, and I need this. Just like you said you need your clit licked this way,
Mm-hmm.
and I told you I need my dick sucked this way. I also need, you want me to stroke your cat this way? Fine. I need you to stroke my bush this way.
Mm-hmm.
He's being honest and upfront with you. And
Right.
frankly, if you're not going to do it, your relationship is in trouble, if not already over,
Mm.
in my opinion. Because
Yeah.
if he's enlightened enough to know what it is he wants or needs,
Mm-hmm.
and the value that it holds for him, if you shut him down, he's like, oh, okay. Well, I asked you. I was like, so that at some point, don't get mad if I need this
Mm-hmm.
and I ask you and you still won't do it. I'm tipping out. Now,
Right.
is it a gateway for him to have sex with another man? It can be for some.
Mm-hmm.
Um, by and large, it tends to not. I wouldn't categorize it that way because the reality is there are still all these other aspects of femininity and of woman, of a woman that are just not, they're absent with the man.
Right.
You may not have, the breasts of substance.
Mm-hmm.
He may want to actually 69 with you, and where you're rimming him, and he's munching on your box.
Right.
Um, you know, some things are missing, and he may not want to have a dick in his mouth. So, I mean, that's the other thing. He may not want it. That guy is. It's not a gateway to other men.
No. No.
Now, is it to say that it would never happen? I can't say that
Right.
because and of course you're sitting there, where you're just like, now were you always just curious or bi-curious, or was this really about? And it's really a thing where I've met guys and talked to them that are identify as heterosexual, primarily have sex with women, and the only time they have sex with a man is when they do want the anal stimulation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very much like, they're gonna find, a tradesman or a dicksman that's actually just does dealing dick, and that's it. He don't want to kiss him. He don't,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, he's like, I'll jack you off to get it ready, but you know, and I'm just like, how does that go over? You know, and some of them are like, well, yeah, some guys have been like, yeah, I really need my dick sucked, so I get excited. He's like, I'm not sucking dick, so that's not the guy for me,
Right.
you
Right.
know, and I'm just like, wow, so you really are reducing him to parts, like, and
And you know what the thing is too? A lot of gay men will do that to each other. Like especially if you got those that have this I'm a strict top mentality, which means I don't suck no dick. I just go for the ass. Or they'll tell you your dick does not do anything for me. I just want the cakes. I just want the ass.
yeah,
And vice versa. You have bottoms up there. I don't
mhm,
care about your ass. I just want your dick. And it's just like, wait a minute, wait. Okay, well then make sure that you find somebody
that's cool with.
that's cool with, that you are compatible with in that way. But you
Mhm.
also have to understand that there are going to be people out here that are gonna be like, nope, we can't do nothing because if you can't do X, Y to me, or I can't do X, Y, Z to you, we're not gonna work.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. And I see Sammy had a comment here.
Mm-hmm.
He said he chats with a lot of married guys who said through sexual curiosity played with his ass. They
Mm-hmm.
liked, and from there went down the rabbit hole. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
playing with the guy is like walking the closet of Narnia, walking into the closet of Narnia. It can be.
Yeah.
It can be a little interesting, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and I do think, and even and Mr. Suber even says
It's a
it's a
case
case
by
by
case.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I that was the point I was making. I hope with that there really is no one answer. There
Mm-hmm.
could be, and there could be guys that are just like didn't realize, oh, that identified as heterosexual, had another experience with another guy, whether it was like in a three-way where they were DPing a girl and they were like, I really like his dick rubbing against mine, in between that thin
Mm-hmm.
membrane. I was
Mm-hmm.
kind of getting off on that more than I was fucking her. It's
Right.
like, and at that point, it's like, oh, wait a minute, that could
I
be an
can.
awakening.
Yes, yeah,
You
and
know,
then you have some that are like, wait, I can do this. I like this, and I want more of it. And but then they get in their minds because of, but what are my friends gonna think? What is
yeah,
this person? And because there's a video out there that talks about DL, and this woman puts a lot of it. She puts a lot of things into perspective, and I
okay,
agree with her video. We'll have to play it next week. But
okay,
when we go to the topic of DLs next week or so, or as time
okay,
goes on, cause I'm trying to think. Cause I mean, cause of the situation, but I think that if men were able to express themselves sexually comfortably without judgment,
hmm,
I think a lot of men would get like would be they'll have that pressure off of them, but they got to be ooh and oh and all the time, like no, it's fine if you are in a safe space where you can tell me that you want your whole play with it, not whether it's me or not. I'm gonna listen and be like, okay,
hmm. Yeah,
don't
I'm
have
like,
to
okay, I'm happy you know that.
right, yeah.
Yeah, because I do feel like there's some guys out there that do not know what's missing for them, and they keep looking for it in all the wrong places, and they're just getting more and more frustrated. Now that's theory on my part. Mr. Suber had a thought as well.
Mhm,
There is a porn series called Bend Over Boyfriend, where women are
mhm.
bending their boyfriends. I've not seen that one, but I'm intrigued. Because
Yeah, I've never seen either.
yeah, it's like I would watch that just to see how he's experiencing that. Like, is this for show or is this really his shit? Have you ever watched the or listened to the podcast Horrible Decisions with
No.
um it's this show by these two sisters, Mandy and I can't think of the other woman's name. Really cool show. Like they're two sex positive black women. One is bi, the
Hmm.
other is straight.
Yeah.
And the one that's straight, she actually her nickname is Peg the Stallion.
Okay, I know
Yeah.
the names. I just okay, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I know the names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love hearing her talk about how she's helped these men because she talks about, she dates ball players,
Hmm.
guys that are 6'5", 6'10". She talked about fucking this guy that was 6'11" one night. And I'm like, and
Hmm.
your ass is 5'2". So, the
Mm.
mechanics of that are very fascinating,
Right.
you know,
Yes. Yes.
but at the
Yes.
same time, once you land down, everything is good. But it's
Hmm.
like, and I was really fascinated. Had I been in that conversation with her, I'd be like, now how, like, they come to you. Sometimes they come to her because I think she's gotten a reputation around the NBA.
Oh.
you
Oh.
know, if you in town, look her
Hmm.
up. Because she'll wear your shit out is what I'm guessing, because guys talk, whether they want to act like they don't, or women gossip, and men don't know. Men are worse gossips than women,
They
particularly
are.
straight men. So it's like, but yeah, she is that girl when it comes to the strap, and
Mm.
I'm pretty sure she has an assortment of harnesses and the like for her purposes. Um, so we had a comment from Sammy. He's like, right now, I'm in my service me phase, where the guy is only servicing me. I'm
Oh.
being a total pillow princess, but when it
Mm.
comes to fucking, I dick him down. All right.
Oh.
I'm surprised to see how many guys are good. Yeah. Hmm. We had a dick in there, by the way. Yeah, it was sippage. Um, yeah,
Oh. Okay.
it's again, yeah, and I now obviously in the porn where you got the straight guy, it's his first time, and I'm like, you deep throating that dick rather expertly, so I know you're an actor.
Hmm.
But I do think, given that you've had one for all your life, you kind of know what might excite it. Now,
Hmm.
it's not the first time you've gagged, so this is nothing new, other than getting used to the aroma and the taste. This ain't that
Hmm.
new. So yeah, I can see them being good.
Hmm.
And and of course, Mr. Greg, not Peg the Stallion. Oh
Yes.
yes,
Yes. Greg. Her name is Peg Stallion.
she is. Yep, she is full court pumps, and Peg the Stallion. She has some names.
Hmm.
She has some nicknames. She actually has several. I need to listen to Horrible Decisions. I think it's still on. And
Yeah.
it's not spelled like traditional horrible. It's actually WHOR.
Yeah, like yeah.
Yeah, like
I
horror.
remember. I remember they had their interview on the Breakfast Club, and they talked about it. So
Oh, okay. Yes,
yeah.
keep seeing them. Yeah, it's a wild ass show. I love it though.
Hmm.
Although I gotta her the co-host, I've been thinking about her lately because she had posted something a while back, and I had said that it was a mess. And she actually was like on her Twitter account, like when I posted that, and she was like, "What's messy?" And I was like, not in a bad way.
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm but I got like a phone call from a client right before I was about to respond to her, and so I just kind of left it hanging like, oh, that's messy, and I was
Hmm.
like, no, I was saying like that's my kind of mess. Yes, let's do
Hmm.
this. And so, but she probably didn't remember me, but again, it was, yeah, it's just like, yeah, sis, if you ever hear this, it was not a bad thing. It was a good thing. I
Yeah.
love y'all show. So,
Hmm.
I need to get back into my podcast, but I've been doing all my books I've been doing my Audible when I'm out walking. So that cuts into my podcasting time. So,
Hmm.
but we're coming up on the hour mark, so we should probably move on from Lady Bell
Yeah. Yeah.
and get into our kink of the week.
Hmm.
Um, if I can find the proper placard. Uh, I don't see it. All right. Well, we have artwork that has not been fully integrated into the show yet. But what I'm going to do is our kink this week is the praise kink. Um,
Ah.
yes. And a praise kink is basically, I'm going to read the definition for you to cover all the bases. It is a sexual predisposition where an individual experiences heightened erotic pleasure, arousal, and desire from receiving or giving validation, positive reinforcement, or verbal approval. While most people enjoy general compliments, someone with a praise kink experiences a distinct physiological and psychological reward response to these words,
Mm-hmm.
transforming simple flattery into a powerful aphrodisiac. It functions like a highly emotional version of the words of affirmation love language. And and again, there's a certain like people might be like, well, how does this differ from a compliment? And the difference is the compliment is very general, whereas a praise kink is very specific. For example, you're in the elevator, possibly heading up to the apartment, and he says, the way you arch your back, top tier, makes you want to
Mm-hmm.
climb all up in your guts.
Oh.
And his partner thinks in response, oh, thank you, baby. The water always runs clear for you.
Mm.
Now, there's some girls out there with supreme arches,
Oh yeah.
yeah, or and you got guys that'll punch you in the back, like drop that ass, drop that back,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like okay, and it's like if you, it does come down to this idea of tell me what it is that I'm doing that takes you to the next level
Mm-hmm.
because I need to know, you
Yeah.
know. But it's not just I need to know so it's done, but I get off on knowing that is good. That is some of the
Mm-hmm.
best shit you done had. That and it could even you don't even have to say it's the best. You could just say, you know what, like he says here, the way you arch your back,
Mm-hmm.
and he's saying he has a very specific response. Where he's like, yeah, I want to climb all up in them guts and rearrange some shit and move some things around. It's like I'm ready. I see we got some comments here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Randy, curious, what do you think it says about the person who gets off on receiving the praise? Is that also the same kink? Yeah,
Yes.
yes. It's basically
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's simple opera conditioning or behavioral psychology. The
Yep.
more that you give someone a positive response for an overt act that they understand that response is it's in response to that act, the more likely they are to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you like, so say I had an ex that just always insisted upon wearing boring underwear.
Hmm.
And I have an underwear thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he came over one day, to stay for the weekend, and he had a drawer full of drawers that I wanted to see him in. And, I just let him discover it. I was like, the middle drawer is yours. And he was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I get a drawer? I was like, yeah, you get a drawer. Now, I filled up half of it with shit I wanted him to wear, but the other half of the drawer was for him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, what is all this? And I was like, those are yours. And he got the memo because he put a pair on and he came down the hall
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh, this is what I'm talking about. And
Mm-hmm.
we had a good time on my desk,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm. So I told one person. I told one person that I have a very strong interest in. I told them like, look, if you ever can come across me
Hmm.
and you are wearing nothing but like a comic book or an anime shirt and a jockstrap,
Oh. Oh.
I said, I'm gonna put that's an invitation for me to
Hmm.
pounce on you and proceed to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I but that's an invitation, but that's also just me and my visual stimulation that I get from people. One of those things you can do without touching me to turn me on. So
Mhm.
that's also.
Yeah,
so, so I
I
mean, we all have our things where our somebody that we like or our party can wear certain things. You just be like, so do we need to leave the house, or
yeah,
they put something on, or they wear something? You just be like, you do know that wearing that in front of me is like ringing a dinner bell for me to come partake. or
yeah.
yeah.
It is, and it's interesting because in my younger days, I had what I like to call a stable. And they were all specialists. You know, there were like one or two that were very good and versed at multiple things, but there were a few specialists in there. You know, and somebody asked me once, like, "What's that about?" I'm like, "Well, this one here can suck the melanin out your dick, and will do so for an hour or two without being prompted." It's like you can just. I was like, he's the kind of person you could just sit back and if you like you a joint or a cigarette or whatever it is or your cocktail, you can just sit back and just be in heaven because he's gonna take you and keep you there. He's gonna edge you. You don't have to do nothing. He even knows which muscle twitches when you're about to hit that point of no return. He knows all of it. I ain't gotta do nothing.
Nope.
I miss him. Um, you know,
Okay, we gotta. I miss him. I should call him. See what he's doing.
I like Doc. Doc, if you still around, the next time I'm in Ohio, I need to look you up. Um, you know, to give you an idea how long ago that was. Hell, that man might be dead by now. But actually, if he's not, he may not have any teeth left. You talking about just S tier at
Oh,
that point.
oh, oh, yeah. Because look. If you've never had
A gum job.
a gum job, woo,
Ooh, Lord.
it'll change your life. It'll change your perspective.
It, I did I probably haven't told you. Just I may have told Greg about the story where I was enlightened in a steam room one evening,
Uh huh.
and I was just chilling. I was just minding my business, and he just slid over to me. He's like, "Hey," and, the hand went on the thigh. I was like, "Okay," and he the first time I was like, "Damn," because I wasn't really looking. But the second time I connected, he took his teeth out of his mouth and went to work, and I hollered. I said, I was like, "Oh, is that what it was?"
And this was in the steam
Oh
room. Was this a public gym or?
no, this was at a certain location in Canada. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that I
Got
used
you.
to go to.
I
Yeah,
got you. I got you.
with my younger. That was my doctoral student stress release zone. Um,
I love the way he put that too.
yeah, it was very good to me, and I was devastated when it burned down.
Ooh,
Uh, yeah, because if I'm ever back, I can be like, let me roll through there just for the sake. Now that man is probably gone.
yeah.
If he's not, he's probably in his 90s, and I would imagine he ain't there no more.
Mm.
Because I could actually see him rolling through there on a walker personally, but that's just me and my foolishness.
That'll work.
Yeah, well, he was about his business. He was
Okay.
he was the gum job king, and
Oh.
so you
Oh.
know, and I was just like, I didn't know this was a thing. Like
It
you
is a
know,
thing.
yeah, it's just I guess it's like the equivalent of you know cunnilingus by a person with a gap.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
because you can apply some interesting pressure and angles on that clit,
Mm-hmm.
that gap that you just can't get when your shit is all in there as supposed to be.
Right.
Or everything's fully aligned. It's not. It's different. Because then you got the nibble on it. It's like no, I just want to put the smooth parts of the tooth on the. It- So, but yeah. Um, okay, let me. It's like Randy said,
He had to come back to reality from okay. He don't want to
yeah.
but back to the whole the praise kink thing. Okay, so
Mhm.
for those of for those of y'all that okay, like that's a nerd or a blurred like me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a show that I watched called Hell of a Boss.
Boss.
Yes, it's
Okay.
called Hell of a Boss, and it's a show about well, there are three imps. It's a cartoon, by the way. It's a very very adult cartoon. This is not for children at all. I would not suggest anybody below the age of 16 and over to watch this show. Okay, I will say that much. Or 17, or I'm gonna go with 18 as my personal choice, but 16. Okay, anything below that, they should not be watching this show. Okay,
Oh, it's on
but
YouTube.
yeah,
Okay.
it's on YouTube. And
What?
there's and I have to say that before I go into what I'm about to say, I just say one thing about Hello Boss. It puts a lot of perspective on things that we talked about on this show, and we're talking about more so on this show and on Malcolm's show. It's like Bibi and Madrino took a look at a lot of the trauma and things, or a big majority of it that we go through as gay men or bisexual men or queer men in general. And she
Yeah.
said, "Well, I'm gonna make a cartoon out of it," and it's hilarious. But if you
Mm.
really look at it, it's also a lot of perspective, because Blitzo is going through a lot of things that we go through, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is so relatable. But there is a short in there where it's called Big Boss, and it's a praise kink episode, which I was just like,
Oh,
oh,
okay.
okay, this is a praise kink episode because Moxie with his two employees, Moxie and Millie, and they're married.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
they don't like his plans. Every time you're like, sir, lately your plans have sucked. So their latest mission, they're assassins, by the way. So their latest mission,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. So their latest mission leads to Blitzo killing a CEO.
Oh
And
boy.
he takes over the persona. He takes over the identity of the CEO, and everybody is a yes person. So
Oh.
every time his idea comes out, all he hears is yes. He never hears no. He never hears. Do you think that's a wise idea? Everything is yes, yes, yes. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. That's a splendid. And he gets off on it so bad. He's like, oh my god! No matter how bad my ideas are, you got to say yes, yes, we do, because we want to
Mhm.
please you and we want to
That's
make sure
it.
that you are happy. Yeah, it's a whole thing. I'm just like, oh. So I was like wondering what part of the community did you pull this from, baby? Because God, you was like,
I
oh.
mean, and it's just like when I told the story about the professor, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that was basically a praise king thing. I was able to salvage
Yeah.
that, that encounter with
Yeah.
praise and giving him,
Mm-hmm.
you know, big man, like, and
Mm-hmm.
just give him a little dose of fem, just a little, you know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like, and I didn't, and it's interesting, because I basically was like, okay, and I didn't really say anything. I actually did a very specific thing. I actually said, well, what would be like, quote
Mm-hmm.
unquote, him? And I was like, oh, okay, I'm laying next to him, so I'm gonna kind of roll and put my leg on his and just kind of rub it up and down. And
Mm-hmm.
massage, and just be like, yeah, daddy, and that was all it took,
Mm-hmm.
and and yeah, that was, that the beginning of a beautiful relationship.
Mm-hmm. I get. He said, Sammy said my very first boyfriend got me with a gum. I was 22. He was 57.
Okay.
That and the fact that I dicked him down. Oh, we got another dick word. Okay, we gotta take a sip.
Mhm.
All right.
I saw it coming. It's Sammy. Him and Mr. Calvin got trying to get his toe up tonight.
Okay.
Um, quick,
Dicks. Yes.
it's like, remember we had that time in there? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, so yeah, I mean, and sometimes you've probably done this more than you realize, where
Mm-hmm.
it's, if you don't even think of it as a kink, but it's just like, I really enjoy that in particular. So they'll be like,
Mm-hmm.
you do that toe thing, or you do the tongue thing, or you do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's, that automatically, if you're telling somebody that something that you're doing for them sets them, sends them to the stratosphere, they gonna do it again.
Oh yeah,
And they gonna
definitely.
refine the technique,
Mm-hmm.
and they gonna come at you with it. They gonna have your toenails popping off your damn toes.
Okay.
And we should all be so lucky.
How you looking for stuff in the daytime with a flashlight? Like,
Yeah, you know, like, I am sure last weekend at IML, there
mm-hmm.
were folks that were being looked for in a sea of men because of something
Mm-hmm.
that went down last year or 15 years ago.
Right. Oh,
I
oh,
got to get
baby.
that again.
Okay, cause listen, I had somebody that I messed with 10 years ago talking about so can we do that again? I'm like, wait.
Yeah, but like, what was it that you know, I mean, like, what was it on BGKH? Epic he was talking about
Mm-hmm.
some guy that he met at, I think it was maybe Mid Atlantic Leather. And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, and for the man that did so and so,
Uh,
call me. I can't remember your name. Like, he was just like, look, I'm going to be there. You find me. And I was like, okay. It's like, now
Look.
if that man saw or heard that, he came looking for
Mhm.
Epic's
Oh
ass.
yeah, oh definitely. Because you know the thing is to like when you have somebody that tells you that you haven't seen or messed with in like 10 years plus, and they find you, and they're like, can we do that again, or can we get a repeated performance? And I was just like,
Yeah.
but that kind of makes you feel like, well, damn, I must have did something right there.
Yeah.
I must have put it out.
Yeah. I'd be like, now, I haven't seen you in a minute. What did I do?
Right, like,
Okay.
and you
Make
hit,
sure.
and I was told I hit a spot. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. That hasn't been hit in quite some time, or I was like, oh,
There you
excuse
go.
me
There,
then.
yeah, you rock the spot, and again, a good spot rocking is a beautiful thing.
It
I ain't
is.
even gonna lie, I mean, it's just like Kid Fury had me hollering on the podcast to read. He was talking about Island Dick and Island
Uh,
Puss,
mm,
talking about leave that shit alone unless you want to get in trouble.
mm,
'Cause it's gonna make your eyes roll back in your head, and I was howling. I was like, damn. I was like, well, it probably would.
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just like the stereotype they give us out of Jamaica, lets you know
Right.
that island dick. It's
Hmm.
something different.
I
It's
mean, it had a girlfriend that had Lynn move homeboy back to the states with her. So
so we gotta use that.
Bosco came
With
back to the states with her.
Bosco.
Right,
Yeah,
his name was
and
Bosco. Yeah.
he was more of a he was a leech.
Mm-hmm.
And she
Yeah.
was like, "Oh God, is this what it's like dealing with me?" I remember
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, you tend to, yeah. It's like, but again, just this idea of if there's something that you do well, because a lot of people don't even recognize, the reality is sex is complicated for a lot of folks.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of complicated emotions and thoughts around it. In particular, even some imposter phenomenon
Mm-hmm.
and if you're into someone and they're just not very sexually confident, one way that you can actually help boost that confidence is you using a praise kink. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
like they necessarily need it, because once you've empowered that person to where they know, okay, I got some good shit,
Mm-hmm.
you know, then they know how to deploy and,
Mm-hmm.
and break it down. But they may not, they might feel like they're dating over their head,
Right.
or they've seen some of your exes and their body does not come near what their ex.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all this shit. I mean, and this is all stuff that can complicate, what could be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
To basically let them know, because yeah, I mean, and there is a certain vulnerability in saying, yeah, when you did this, it shook my nerves.
Mm-hmm.
Because
In
you
a good
might
way.
not want them to know they got it like that.
Right.
You may not want them to know that. You trying to play it cool, and it's like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, yeah, I almost shot when you did that. It was
Yeah. Yeah, and there are some that I wish didn't remember. I wish you did remember. I was like, when we did, I said, yeah, I wish you did remember we did that because I
Um,
forgot. Because after we did it, I forgot. I immediately was like, oh well, that will never happen again.
yeah, but like, I've moved on from that.
Right, right, yeah.
I've progressed.
Mhm,
Yeah, I mean, and it's yeah. I wonder what I've progressed from.
mhm,
I'll let y'all know when I'm back in them streets. For now, it's all philosophical.
mhm,
Although I do feel my period of abstinence and celibacy coming to a close.
mhm,
I'm feeling like I'm much more back in my body because that was the biggest issue. Just like, what is this body now? It's
mhm.
like when you damn near die a couple of times, things get different. It's just like
Yeah,
you're like, yeah, it's just like
yes.
it's like I don't, yeah, I lost this here, and this is strange. This doesn't feel the same way it used to. This looks
Mhm.
different. It's
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I mean, and I was even talking to my therapist about that. I was like, is something wrong with me? He's like, no. He's like, you almost died a couple of times. He's like, and you also did that in the midst of crossing that 50 barrier where stuff starts to look or feel different to you, even if it's not. He's like, so
Mhm.
you're just getting back in touch with you. He's like,
Right.
he's like, when you're horny and you feel like doing something about it, you'll be ready. He's like,
Yeah.
that's when you know you're over it. And I said, okay.
Mhm.
And I just said, all right, because I have things, it's like I have my catalog is certainly grown, you
Mhm.
know. I've expanded the catalog of activities and the like. So I'm eventually, I'll put it back out there. So we had a comment again from dear Sammy. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he says, Dexter St. Jock just turning all the vacation women out. Go back to the state with a smile from ass to shining
Oh,
sea, bro.
from
From
sea
sea
to
to side to
shining.
side sea. I think okay.
That's true. And you know what? And don't think that the sex tourists do not make referrals.
Oh, they do.
They make that's a whole. I mean, I know people really look at that kind of like, but it's serious. That there are folks that will travel for some good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it legal, some of it illegal.
Okay.
It's a lot of that too. But there are
Mm-hmm.
some folks that will get on a plane to go back to that one massage bar to get that massage by that one person, whether it had a happy ending or not.
Mm-hmm.
When there's something, and actually, you know, like a friend of mine, he has to go through some changes to get to his barber,
Oh.
and his barber knows that, and so
Mm-hmm.
his barber's kind of like, when he hits that door, he's like, this guy is he's a serious customer because he actually drives over an hour to get here in LA traffic,
Mm.
on a Thursday evening or a Friday evening. Like
Mm-hmm.
he is in the teeth of this shit. And he does that because he's passing tons of barbershops on the way here. And
Oh
he
yeah.
comes here. You know, that again, that's the thing, that customer loyalty. It's the same kind of thing. We all want to
Mm-hmm.
know what we bring to the world,
Right.
and what our special contribution is. So, if someone is, touching your spirit in that way, don't be afraid to let them know. You'd be surprised.
Right.
It's
'Cause,
just
I mean, it's okay to be verbal.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I've actually been like, yeah, can we do this again someday? And sometimes they say no. I'm like, okay. I'm just like, I might be a little sad, but I move on because they've moved on.
Right. Right.
But I'm
Like this
like,
was a one time thing.
yeah, I'm like, and I think sometimes it's because of like, yeah, I don't want a commitment, and I recognize that you might be feeling something, but I know I damn sure am, so I can't mess with you again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I appreciate the honesty. Now, you're left to decipher why you got rejected, but and
Right.
that's your own, but that's part of being an adult in these streets.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. But did we have any more thoughts on that? I see we got another comment from Sammy. Did you have any more thoughts, Thick, before we close this segment out?
Nah. Oh, sorry. Sammy
Oh,
says, actually, I saw a trailer for a white version of Girls Trip called Spa Weekend. Yeah, that I've been hearing about that.
got it.
They have one of those types of characters in it. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I saw. I haven't seen it, but I've heard about that trailer, and I'm like, what is this? And then I was like, okay, well, I'm okay. I'll pass.
Yeah, and see, I haven't turned my TV on in like 3 days, so I'm totally out of the loop. And I don't get movie trailers on YouTube, so
Okay.
okay. All right. So now we get into our next segment where we are actually doing some more funny videos before we get into the bullshit of the week, as I like to call it. I just realized that I was a little slow with the uptake here, so let me get this together while we're talking. Layers. Sorry, y'all. This is what happens when you're not at full strength when the show starts. So, let's see here. These are actually compliments of thick. So here's the first one. Let me add that in, and here we go.
Get that. Get that.
Is that is that
Yeah. So the thing is, we don't know his at. We just know the page that posts his videos. He doesn't. We don't know the at yet, which is
okay?
crazy.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I hate when they
I've
do
seen.
that.
Yeah, I've seen him several times, and
I know.
it's always a question: would you date a plus size or a thick man? Hell yes, why not?
Yes,
I
we
mean,
appreciate that around here.
yes, we do.
Yeah, especially if you got fur,
Mm.
a
That's
beard
a,
you
that's
can hold on
that's
to.
right. That's a big bonus. Yes, yes,
Those are all
it
pluses.
definitely is.
You know.
Mr. Calvin said, "Wait, is that an old comment? I thought we said that
Uh,
before."
we got two new
Okay,
ones.
I think my computer is a little.
Uh,
Um, Mr. Calvin said, "Damn, I almost forgot about y'all." Um,
oh,
I've been a day behind all week because of the holiday. Oh,
okay.
so that means he had too much fun over the holiday. That means
Mhm.
somebody gave him something. His mind is coming back to earth.
He's hearing the friends of distinction. They got him going.
uh, yes, I can order one of him, please. To go. Okay,
Yeah,
well, I'll take two of him. Mm-hmm.
and initially I was quite titillated because I thought there might have been mesh panels on the side,
Mm-hmm.
and but it was actually the sun hitting it a certain way. Because I was like, "Is that
Yeah.
sunlight?" No, it was not, and I was very, I was a little saddened by that. But even without the mesh, it was still good.
Uh huh.
I had no complaints. All righty, let's see here. Our next segment is crappy. Ah, all right. Apparently, we're going back to StreamYard next month,
Yeah.
which I hope is more simple than this that we're dealing with. Okay, here's our next segment, or our next piece. Let's see here.
All right, go ahead. All right, go
Okay.
ahead.
Mm, that's some
Mm-hmm.
nice chocolate bar.
Okay.
Special dark chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Not
They,
Hershey's
they,
either. That's
mm,
Godiva. That's some good shit.
okay. Yeah. They
Yeah,
say it's healthy. They say dark chocolate is healthy, so I'm like, okay.
it is.
I'll take a dose.
Mhm. Now, I would not object to some cacao, heading down, to South America for some
Mm-hmm.
cacao, but
Mm-hmm.
that's a good time in the locker room, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's a shame. We need to have a Twitter version of the show because then we could find the one where the towel doesn't quite make it over everything in time. But I
Yeah.
don't have Twitter for that.
Mm-hmm.
They say Twitter is for lovers. I think it's for the hoes, but that's just me.
That it was definitely for the hoes. There is
Is that-
no there is no such thing as Twitter not being for the hoes.
If there's anything you need to discuss that is hoish, go to Twitter. It's there, and I respect. As I've always said, I respect a good hoe. So you know. All right, and now we have our last fun video for the day. This one is called Rimming 101 with Master Dominus.
Oh yeah,
All right, here we go. Actually, I don't know. He's Mr. Dominus, not Master Dominus.
yeah, Mr. Dominus, yeah,
Yeah, he's a sub, right?
yeah.
It's a
His
switch, maybe.
right, he's a switch though, but yeah,
Okay.
his partner I believe is Latino or something
No,
like
he
that.
might be. He's definitely not. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he could be Latino.
Yeah.
Yeah, but his partner looked like he's serious.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
did.
yeah,
Yeah, partner. I was like,
yeah.
okay, yeah, he been handling business. So I'm like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there actually Dominus has a show on YouTube as well. I can't think
Yeah.
of the name of it. I, oh, and I usually watch it. I can't think of the name of the show. Oh well, here we go. Mr.
Mm-mm.
Dominus giving you a little educational session here.
Let's see how well you can do. Have you ever been rimmed and had somebody try to stick their tongue straight into your It's like, ugh, slow the down. So today, we're going to give you a one-on-one class on how to rim properly. First, let's start slow. Ease into it, stay controlled, and focus on being intentional, not super aggressive. First step, tongue the folds. The crinkles of the anus have a lot of nerve endings, and when they fill up with blood, the receiver gets more aroused and more relaxed, making for an easier rimming experience. Tips for this, go in circles. Me personally, I like to write the alphabet right on the opening of the hole. I go in cursive and I write all the letters. Tip 2, give pleasure to the surrounding area. Some of you guys focus so much on that opening, but the actual surrounding area of the buttocks is super sensitive. Start from the taint, work your way up each buttocks. Tip 3, knowing the proper position. I love using a rimming chair, but if you don't have one of these, having somebody sit on your face and allowing them to control the movement can be very pleasurable for the person who is receiving. Other rimming styles are 69, reverse cowgirl on the face, and a spread eagle. Tip 4, flatten your tongue. A lot of people like to take their tongue and do this. Flatten it out like this.
Flat.
And lick the entire surface from taint to top and from buttocks to buttocks. Take your time. This isn't a race. Be sensual. Listen to the person's body as they respond to you. And whenever you hit a spot, work it. Switch it up and make them feel good. One thing I love to do is when somebody's on their back and I'm eating away, I play with their nipples if they're into that. And I try to excite the whole body. If somebody's nervous about it, I love to take ice and rub it around their butt and the opening of the anus and the sphincter. That way, their body starts to tense up and you get to use the warmth of your mouth to warm their body up. That way, they can feel relaxed as that elevated warmth comes from your mouth and it starts to make them feel at ease. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Happy eating.
Happy eating indeed. That reminds me. Remember the when that minister? There have been many ministers caught on tape. You know, there
Mm-hmm.
was this black minister who got caught with this
The,
woman, and
yeah,
the cussing.
everybody's calling him the pastor.
Yeah, and in this case, there was a video of the cussing pastor that was critiquing his technique. And he was like, well,
Mm-hmm.
he doing all right with it. But he just slow down. You know, it's like he doing too much to the pussy. I'm like, oh, Lord. You know, I was
Lord
like,
have mercy.
yeah, I miss the cussing pastor. He
Mm-mm.
is no longer with us. That shit blew up quickly. We might have to talk about that one day. That got real wild toward the end. But
Yes.
yeah, just it's I can imagine people have a difficult time kind of settling in and languishing in the space because of where it is. But if
Mm-hmm.
you are somewhat, rim phobic, shall we say, hygiene is a big part of it.
Yes, it is.
You
It
know,
is.
if you don't trust the other person is handling everything like they need to, then you supervise the process.
Right. Like you know what, I mean this is an old technique or old way of doing it, but take a shower together.
Exactly.
And if they can't uh get to it, or you feel like they need a little bit more, then say that you'll be happy to assist because you're the one that has to go back there and indulge.
I
Okay,
always
so
say, oh, yeah, I
no,
always
no,
say,
you-
watch the parts you want to eat.
Right. Wash your. I mean, if you're gonna wash the your chicken or the meat before you consume it, it's no different for a person. Okay.
Yeah, it's part of good preparation. Then you know it's been
Mhm.
prepared properly, and
Mhm.
it's sanitatious, it's hygienic, and it's nutritious. But yeah, I mean, I had one like we took a shower, and I didn't have a heart to tell him. I was like, there was like this scent that he had behind his ears that I just did not like. And
Mhm.
I don't know if it was a product or if that was just his body chemistry, but I did not care for it. And I scrubbed the hell out of that man's ears
Mm.
because I was just like, I want to lick on some ear today. And,
Mm.
that was one of his spots, but I did not care for the scent coming out of there. So I focused my attention there in the shower.
Okay.
And he got a good ear job,
Mhm.
you know. And and again, I mean, obviously if there's something with your partner that's off, that's just not working for you, it may be dietary, it could be physiological, there could be reasons for it besides this person is just not clean or whatever.
Mhm.
There are a lot of things that can go wrong with our bodies in a lifetime that can have, some unintended and definitely unpleasant consequences. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was watching this one thing about this woman who she basically emitted a body odor. And it
Mm.
took them about, I want to say about 25 years for a doctor to figure out what the problem was. You know,
Mm. Yeah.
she came across a man that actually did not mind her scent. And, and then he was supportive when she wanted to get it dealt with. He actually was like, I don't, he's like, do I smell you? Yes. But does it bother me? No. So,
Mm.
but you may be in a situation where something ain't right. And part of being honest in that relationship with someone and being loving is saying, yeah, you got to watch this again. Unless you are dealing with someone who's sensitive that is going to take that the wrong way, be tactful about it is all I'm
Yeah.
saying. But you do have a right to say, I need to get this right.
Mhm.
I've had some experience. I'm like, I need you to get back in the shower.
Right.
Yeah, just period. I don't I don't do all this.
Now, and maybe one day we'll have a segment on doing extra for the man's hygiene, for your hygiene, for your
Mhm.
washing ritual. Like I actually have a scrub thing, a scrub
Oh.
brush,
Mhm.
and it's for my private. It's more so for my private areas because especially when you have thick thighs and you like what that just got to be you trying to exfoliate.
Mhm. Exfoliating. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it's for, especially in those thick areas. Like you might need a little extra.
Mhm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And there is nothing wrong with doing extra for your hygiene and for you to smell good. Because I mean, you want to be tasted and devoured, and so you got to make sure that the palate is clean.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be about you having a good time. Period.
Mhm.
You know. And you can't do that if something is off.
Mhm.
Or it's just not quite right. But yeah, I mean, I mean, even for me, I'm fairly conscientious. I have specialized product as well. You know,
Mhm.
um, particularly if if it's going to be a snack. I make sure that it's right. I got certain products that I use to to get that area properly pulled together. And I've had
Mhm.
some people say, I don't need you to do all that. They like it a little more natural. Not
Mhm.
crunchy, but just natural.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, and I appreciate knowing that. And then at that
Mhm.
point I won't be so conscientious about it. But yeah, there's nobody wants to be laid up trying to feel sexy and they funky
That part.
unless that's what you want, you know.
Right. Unless that's your kink of the moment.
Yeah. And Sammy had made a comment here.
Mhm.
He said,
Uh.
I've had a guy for some reason I couldn't get over his natural body smell. He was clean, or maybe he didn't wash well, but I had to stop playing with him. Exactly. There are some folk, you know. I like with one. I had to learn to appreciate pre-com because
Oh,
that's what he did. His just
I
became
pre
his
cum.
food.
Oh my gosh, I've got to. That's one of my weaknesses. If you can pre cum along, Jesus.
I didn't mind it, but his just I was like, we got to change your diet because this shit ain't right. It was too bitter.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
we had to cut the
yeah.
asparagus.
I was having a discussion the other day. I said I can't stand when it's bitter and sour. I was just like, and then my question is, do you drink water or do because there is
Yeah,
no reason. I mean, you can and I don't mean to sound like nasty when I say this, but it's gonna
yeah.
come out that way. You
Hmm.
can tell if someone drinks water or what their diet is
Oh God,
by
oh God,
tasting. Yeah, yeah. You'd be
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, you sour as fuck. Yeah,
mm-hmm,
totally. I totally get that. And I mean, and it can be kind of wild at times where you're just like, okay, you are doing the absolute most. And I'm just like, all right, this is a lot. But I don't know. It's yeah. I mean, there are just certain scents that someone may have that's their body chemistry, and it may not resonate with you. I had, one partner that I basically said, before a day or so before we're actually going to be in one another's presence, I need
mm-hmm,
you to lay off of the broccoli, the asparagus. I was like, I just need you to eat
mm,
greens if you need your green. If you need green
right,
vegetables, leafy greens, please. Because I was like, this is not working. This is no. And they were just like, oh, I was like, it's nothing. It's like, I was like, I don't say this to be mean. I was like, but it is not. I was like, there is something that's just not working here, and it's putting me off. And I hate to be that way, but it is. And we found out what it was, and it was in fact, he ate a lot of cruciferous vegetables, and that
mm,
asparagus is one of those things that if you want your semen to be tart,
mm,
asparagus will do it. Um,
mm,
and we had a conversation. I was like, if you want it to be sweet, have pineapple the day before, before you come or before I get there. That's like
mm-hmm.
that'll sweeten it right on up. It'll be lovely. But
Yeah,
yeah, and I mean, it wasn't the easiest conversation to have because I didn't want my man thinking he stank, but I was like, this is just off-putting to me in all the wrong ways, and I don't want it to be. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what it was. It's like, I don't want it like this. And so, but I mean, again, that was a hard conversation to have, very hard. Um, but I see we're at the 140 mark, so we probably move forward. Do we want to reserve our conversation about IML 2026 for next week?
yeah. We can do that.
Yeah, because I think that gets into a lot of issues, which could actually be its own show on its own.
Yeah,
Uh,
it sure can.
yeah, I figured you saw some of the stuff that's been going around.
Yeah,
I was like,
yes,
like,
and
oh,
and I'm going to say that I am in full support. I am in full support of Honey Davenport. I am in full
okay,
support of any person of color, especially black men, winning a leather contest. So yes,
yeah,
because
yeah.
you
In
know.
case you didn't know, our new international Mr. Leather 2026 is Honey Davenport, and
Mm-hmm.
there are issues with Honey
Mm-hmm.
because Honey also is a drag artist,
Yes.
and so Honey was not on stage in drag, well, in leather drag, yes, but like
Mm-hmm.
female drag, no. And
Right.
so there's been some conversation and folks have had to make apologies. And I'm like, why is it, as a preview of this conversation next week, every time IML crowns, or sashes someone that's out of the mainstream, there's this contingent of folks that just have a fucking fit. Like when Jack won, I guess about 3, 4 years ago now,
Mm-hmm.
there was outrage. This is
Yes.
just, because Jack was a trans man. And I was
Yeah.
like, trans man or not, Jack was hot and Jack worked that shit. It was
Mm-hmm.
it was obvious who the winner was that year.
Yeah. Yes.
And
Um.
yeah.
Yeah. But before we end our show,
But we got
there
a
is
little
a, huh?
we still got
Oh.
the found story, but we
Okay.
were
What's the? Okay. I'm sorry. What is it? Uh.
it's based on this week's cake.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Mhm. I'm
All
sorry. I
right.
thought we. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we do a segment called a kinky tale. That's what we call
Mm-hmm.
it. And this is basically a found story where you basically Vic and I will improvise a story, whether we bounce from one of us will say a sentence and then the other person has to follow up on that sentence, and we just bounce back and forth.
Oh.
Or we could actually do a segment, a little bit, maybe a paragraph to make it easier to get a full thought out, because I think it could be hard to get a thought out in a single sentence with something like this. So how did you want to do it? You want to do sentences or you want to do a couple of sentences?
Um. We can do a couple of sentences.
Okay. All right. So this week, the Kinky Tale is about praise kinks. So let's get into it. Would you like to start or shall I?
You start.
Okay. Nicholas was a new sub who was very curious about BDSM and the master slave, uh, dad boy dynamic, but was completely unaware of how all this worked, but knew that he wanted it to.
Um. It's a new sub. Curious. Okay. So he goes to Google and he searches for daddy sub relationships in BDSM spaces.
Mhm. And also, that was helpful to him that he got Google, but he also went on Recon because that's one of the fetish sites where you can find a little something to get you through. Um, and he actually encountered Master X.
Okay. And coming across Master X, he sends a DM to Master X saying, hello, how are you? I was wondering if you could help me with something.
And Master X quickly, being an experienced master, Daddy Sub, Daddy Dom, Sir, already knew the question. It was just a matter of what variation on the question was it going to be. And Nicholas asked him,
So I am curious about being a sub, and could you show me the ropes? Also, what is your requirements for a sub?
hmm. Master X was impressed that Nicholas knew that a Dom or a master would have requirements for his slaves and his subs. And so he gave him a rundown. He told him that he was fairly traditional, but modern in his approach to Dom sub relationships.
Okay, and then Nicholas sits back and thinks about his response for a second. He goes, okay. So how do you feel about, you know, uh, training a new sub?
And at that point, Master X was like, that's not a relationship that I just jump into. That's something we build up to. But what I can tell you is that I'll be at the Eagle tonight. You know what I look like. I'll be at the Eagle. So if you want to start that conversation, come on through. I'll be there by 9.
Okay. And Nicholas responds with, okay, all right, I will be at the Eagle. I will meet you at the Eagle at 9. Um, Curious, is there anything in particular I should wear?
Mm. And Master X said, as a bit of a traditionalist, let me put you in leather. We'll build it for you as the relationship deepens. But for now, if you want to, some jeans, t-shirt, he's like, don't come in the vest and the chaps and all that. I like getting that from my subs.
Okay. So, it's 8:30, and Nicholas is sitting is about to get into his car with anticipation, and he gets in the car and starts heading to the Eagle.
Yep. And so when he enters the Eagle, he sees Master X sitting at the bar, talking to the bartender, and he slowly approaches him and says hello.
And then Master Rex head goes towards him. He says, "Hello, Nicholas." Like
Uh-huh.
question mark, Nicholas, is this you?
Yes. Nicholas says, "Yes, it's me. It's great to meet you. Thank you for the invitation to come out tonight. I'm really eager to learn about this. I know I want to experience it, but I don't know what it's about. Like, how does this work?"
And so Mr. X says, "So I have a question for you. What do you know, if anything, about BDSM or about being a sub?"
Well, I know that as a sub, I basically kind of do what you want to please you. And as I understand it, my pleasure can come from the things that we do together, but it's really my pleasure comes from you knowing that you're being pleasured and satisfied.
Okay, okay. Mr. X responds with, "Okay, that's a good start." So I have a question for you. Do you have any hangups?
I'm sure I do, but I'm interested in kind of stretching my limits, I guess is a good way to put it. I I'm sure I do. I would say I do have the right to say I don't want to do something, right?
Yes. Mr. X looks back and he looks impressed. He's like, yes, you do have the right to say you don't want to do things. You also have the power to end our relationship as the dom and sub.
I have the power. I thought you were in charge.
No, on that note, you have the power to do that. You have the right and the power to say no, you don't want to do this anymore, and it ends right there.
Oh wow. Okay. Like, but like a master wouldn't get mad if like we're in the middle of something and it's really good for him, but not so much for me. He wouldn't be upset that and like just break up with me.
Well, if it's a kink session or kink scene, will we get mad or can a master get mad? Yes, but that's just that's just human nature. But we
Mhm.
will understand that if you're not comfortable with something, um, well, let me rephrase this: a good dom or master will respect your wishes.
Okay, and you mentioned like a good dom or master, I guess, as opposed to a bad one. What are some things that are characteristics of a good dom versus a bad dom?
Let's see. Well, a good dom listens, um, and they listen. They understand. They know that they don't have to lead with aggression,
Hmm.
and it's about building a trust and a bond with their sub.
Okay, interesting. And I know on the phone, or in our chat rather, you mentioned something about being traditional and wanting to put me in leather. I remember reading something about that. Like, am I not allowed to figure out? how I want to present myself, or is that something that I earn?
Well, traditionally, subs earn their leather. Now,
Okay.
there are some things that we can discuss that you may want to wear for yourself, but traditionally, subs earn their leather pieces.
Okay. Yeah, because I know I mean, I don't know if I can just say this like this. Like I'm really, I guess what they call a dick pig. I'm really trying to like get rid of this gag reflex.
Mm-hmm.
It, you know, that would be kind of something you would help me with, right? Maybe.
Yes, I can help you with that. I can help you train, basically train your throat and your skills to be able to take it without gagging.
Okay. I might like this. All right. So the conversation continues on,
Mm-hmm.
and they part ways with the intention to reconnect the next day via phone. Do you
Okay.
want to continue, or shall we stop there?
We gonna stop right there. I think that's a good spot to stop at because I just have to make a note. We stopped at the conversation continues on the phone. Oh, continues later on.
Yeah, I mean, I think for those that aren't familiar with a dom sub relationship or power exchange, the key things to know is that as a sub, yeah, you're basically surrendering your power
Mm-hmm.
to your dom, to the mutual benefit of both of you. But you always have the right to reclaim that if it becomes dangerous, or hazardous. There's what they call a safe word,
Mm-hmm.
or there's like a motion or gesture you can make if you're mummified and you can't talk. there's
Right.
there's a warning system there. Even though some of the situations can be pretty extreme, there is safety's always built into it. And I would say if your dom is not concerned about your safety, then that is not a good dom.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's just not a good thing. And I think even as a sub, there are you. It's almost like you know the communication necessary in a polyamory of the level of communication of just being vulnerable and saying, "Hey, I need this." I kind of played that
Mm-hmm.
out when he was saying, "I don't know if I should say this, but I'm a bit of a dick pig, or I want to be
Mm-hmm.
one." I see that in porn and I'm excited. I'm like, "Yeah, I want that's my shit." It's like that is part of your what you have to bring to that relationship, I would imagine.
Yeah.
If it is a thing where your dom may actually help you to discover what is the realm of your sexual catalog. What are your kinks? What are your fetishes? And to help you expand limits, so to speak. But I am actually not the member of an organization that specializes in this kind of thing. I will let Thick sum it up before we move into our affirmation for the week.
Okay. Well, yes. Um. So basically, yeah. Going back to what he said, but basically, yes. The dom is the one. Well, there is different kinds of dom in sub situations, relationships. Um. You, but basically and traditionally, the dom is the one that's in charge. The dom is the one that the sub is pleasing most of the time. The dom also can punish their sub if their sub does something they don't like, or they can reward them for something they do like. If they do something they do like, there is a reward um, system and also a punishment system.
Mm.
Because basically, like Dr. Pookie said, you are giving up a lot of your power, not all of it, but a good big majority of it to another person.
Hmm.
Okay, now if this is a master slave relationship, and there is a difference between the master and the slave and a dom and a sub. If it is a master slave, yeah, you have no power. You basically, you are their property. They can do whatever they want to you as far as you both agree to this contract that you both make and you both sit down and talk about. Basically saying that they own everything about you: your money, your clothes, what you do, who you talk to. They, 100%. I think autonomy might be the right word for this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. you
Yeah.
know,
Permission systems in place, you know.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know once they were talking about, I guess, a relatively new sub that or slave that got a little too ahead of themselves at an event and
Mm-hmm.
walked up to somebody else's master and their their master had a fit.
Mm-hmm.
So and both masters actually got in their ass about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like there's a whole code of conduct with
There
this.
are protocols, yes.
Yeah,
So don't ever think there is not protocols to everything, because there is.
yeah, there are things that you got to learn
Yeah.
and rules to follow. But I think the interesting thing about the rules is that they're there to protect all parties involved because there may be things in your slave contract that you agreed to
Mm-hmm.
that could be considered illegal. You
Mm.
know, and it's like if say for some reason the police or someone was to bust in the middle of a scene,
Mm-hmm.
that your master could go to jail. you know
Mm.
and that's when they pull out the contract like, no, 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 this is consensual. It's in the
Mm-hmm.
agreement. There is a literal agreement in some cases.
Yeah.
I would imagine the more extreme it is, the more likely they are to have some sort of written
Issue.
agreement in place or contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, the idea, that world, it is like any place else.
Mm-hmm.
There are rules. There,
Yes.
there are codes of conduct. There's decorum.
There's protocol. Yes.
Yeah.
There are protocols.
hmm So
And maybe when, and of course eventually we'll get to some of those protocols, like the difference between a lock collar and an unlocked collar, or and what can be done in that situation too, because man, uh that can be quite interesting to talk about.
yeah, and I wonder because I have a couple of books that I know that are part of the Onyx reading list
Hmm.
for pledges. Which book kind of covers some of that for those that might be curious and want to start learning a little bit?
I believe that is under leather sex is one.
Okay.
It doesn't go in depth, but it does touch on it. And I think the other one, not the ethical slut, the other one. I can't think of the name of it right now.
Um, yeah, because I know the ties that bind is really more of a psychological volume.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a therapist that actually wrote it,
Mm-hmm.
who's in the community. Yeah, is it maybe the Bottoms book or the Top Guide or something like that?
Yeah, but there's an actual name for it. We'll tell you next week. I have to go look for it.
Yeah, it's there's a library involved, so
Mm-hmm.
and even if you're not interested in joining a fraternity like Onyx, just being aware of the things that are out there for you to learn and understand, because the more you know, the better it is for you. I
Oh
would
yeah.
imagine.
Oh yes. And yes. The more you know, like the star, the more you know.
That's it. The more you know, the better the hoe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So we are actually, we just hit 2 hours. So I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
So we have one last little bit for you this evening. And of course,
Mm-hmm.
I did not get it ready, but it's easy to find. We try to end the show with a segment that I've tentatively titled Brother Remember.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm seeing everything but Brother Remember. Jeez, I tell you. Okay, let's see here. Oops, I wasn't supposed to do that yet.
Oh.
Yeah, I was supposed to find. I see it sitting here staring at me on my screen, but I want it actually on this screen. Media files. Yeah, this is a little complex at times. There it is. Okay. So we want to leave you with a little affirmation for one brother or two brothers to the others. This is from, it's written by Yolo Akili, and it's part of Be a Morgue. Yeah, I forget the name of the organization, but it reads, Dear Black men, you are not defined by what is between your legs. You are not defined by the amount of money in your bank account. You have a purpose beyond performing sex and producing for others. You are cherished for your presence, and we are grateful you are here. So just something to remember in the days and years to come.
And one more thing. Don't have sex in mattress stores, please.
Oh,
But
who?
we're gonna talk about that next week. But um, yeah,
Mattress?
yes.
Why do I feel like I heard about that?
You probably did. Yeah, and
Ooh.
don't do that. Don't. And also, we're gonna talk about
It looks like next week we break into our normal our normal show
yes,
run.
yes, because I'm tired of
Uh-oh.
content creators doing content in the public where you can get caught
Oh, yeah.
and be put on the
Registry.
mm-hmm.
That's not a good place to be. And you can get put on that registry for just flashing some dick in public.
Okay,
Someone
very
pressing
much.
buttons. And then you
Yeah.
got to go to your neighbors and say, hey, so I'm on the list because, you know. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, just and I mean to let you know just how I guess relatively easy it is to get put on that list, within half a mile of me, there are about 15 people on the list. Now, part of that is because of the distance requirements from schools.
Yeah.
You can't live within a certain number of feet of a school, but
Nope.
yeah, there are folks that are that are in it. So
You got it. You got to be careful. I mean,
yes, we get careful.
is it hot to a degree? Yes, but at the same
Yeah,
time, be careful.
yeah. I mean, at the very least, don't be stupid about it.
That part. Yeah.
If the sun is up, you need to be concealed. If the sun is down, find you a dark corner and have fun. But maybe be quiet about it.
Yeah, but the way some people operate, we'll get to it next week. Cause baby, this person act like he give no qualms, no fucks to give or anything like that. But we all pass it to our mark, so we're gonna leave it on that cliffhanger. And Sam, you said yes.
I think I know who you might be talking about too.
Uh
Does he start with an
huh.
A?
Huh?
Does he start with an A?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on. What the something pots? All I remember is
Oh,
pots.
that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like throw a rock and you can hit a couple of content creators and come back.
Yeah. You can. You actually can.
That's been the frontier with the content.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting more public and more brazen. So
Mm-hmm.
let's market for it, but understand the consequences.
Oh yeah.
But all right, y'all. We wishing y'all some good living, some good loving, and go and get that dick sucked if you need it sucked.
Yes.
Keep an
All
eye.
right. All
Delicacy.
right. Yes. See
Peace,
y'all
y'all.
later.